Alright guys, this is video 1.2b on mapping diagrams. All we're going to do is continue with what we were working on before, talking about relations and functions and our ordered pairs. What mapping diagrams do is they give you a physical example or a physical representation of how the values in your function or your relation are paired together. So what you want to do is set them up this way. You always have your domain on your left and your range on your right, and you're going to order them from least to greatest, top to bottom. One of the important things you need to remember is that you only list each value one time. Okay, so make sure that you do that. So similar to what we were doing today or in the last video when you're writing your domain and range. Now remember, your relations can be anything. They could be sets of numbers, they could be sets of letters, or pictures or diagrams. It doesn't really matter. You just show how they're paired, and you're just going to draw an arrow from the domain to the range. So I have some ordered pairs right here, and we're going to go ahead and make a mapping diagram. So I'm going to list my domain. Remember, your domain is all of your x values. So 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, and 8. So from least to greatest, we have 2. And I'm just going to mark them off here. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Okay, 6, 5, 8. So once you have all your domain from least to greatest, you're just going to go ahead and put a circle around it. Right, and then you do the same thing for the range. So we have 4, 6, 8, 4, 7, 2, least to greatest. So 2 is my first one. 4. Now 4 appears here and here, so I'm only going to list it one time. Then I have 6, 7, 8. Alright, so there you go. You put a circle on it. And then you draw an arrow from left to right. Okay, so draw from left to right. Okay, input, output. So this input is going to give you that output over there, depending on the function or, whatever. So then you just map them. You draw your line. Okay, so from 2 to 4, 2 to 4. Okay, the arrows here are important because it shows you it's going from 2 to 4. 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 3 to 4, and it's not always going to be this messy, it's just that these are so far apart. 5 to 7, and 8 to 2. Okay, so by looking at this, you can see that your x values don't repeat because you have only one arrow coming from each one. So if you were looking at something, and you had 2, 3, 4, and you had multiple arrows coming from here, that shows repetition. Okay, so for the x values, you don't want x values to repeat. Okay, so that is an indication that this is not a function. Here, there is no repetition, so this is going to tell you, yeah, it's a function. None of my x values repeat. You'll notice that over here, so this over here is no bueno. We don't care about the range. Sometimes you'll have, like you have here, where you have, 2, 4, 6, and you'll have multiple arrows coming in to the range. This is okay. Okay, we don't care about this side. We only care about this side. So this lets us know that it's a function because there's no repetition over here. Everything is mapped. That's all we're doing. It just shows you how the values in your set are mapped. So I'm going to give you like a few more examples. So you set up here, domain, range, and then you set them here. These are letters, so you're going to put them in alphabetical order. A, B, A, C. Okay, the same thing. So we have A, B, C, and D. All right, no big deal. A to B, B to A to C, and C to D. All right, so right away you can tell, okay, here this shows repetition. Okay, we have 2 arrows coming out of here. That's no bueno. Okay, we don't want this. So this is not a function. Our domain has repeating values. Okay, so that's all you're going to do for this. I have one more example for you. So there we go. So we're talking about random people and what language class that they're taking. So we'll put the person, and then we have the language class that they're taking. Language. Okay. So I have John is taking Spanish. Here you're not really, I mean, if you want, you could put these in alphabetical order, but for something like this, order is not really going to matter. Okay, because there is no order to language. I guess you could put it in alpha order, but I mean, who cares? All right, so we got John, Jenny, Bob, and Jaime. Okay, and we have Spanish, French, and Latin. Okay, so we have left, we have right, John to Spanish, Jenny to French, Bob to French, and Jaime to Latin. All right, so there you go. There's no repeating values on the left. It's a function, that's fine. All right, so that's all we're going to be doing for tomorrow. I have 2 practice problems for you to do here. Please make sure that you do them and you have them ready to go for tomorrow. If you have any questions, let me know, shoot me a remind, or ask me tomorrow at school.